What's up, YouTube? I was on the Coach 'em Up podcast recently, and I'll give you all a link to the full thing, but one of the things they asked me about was minimum effective dose for sprinting. I'm going to show you a clip that's the first part of my answer to that question.
So you do have windows of opportunity where the minimum effective dose of sprinting might be low. Somebody who's new to sprinting, for example, like new to linear sprinting, somebody who's growing, if their body's getting longer, if they can just sort of maintain their force production capabilities relative to the size of their body, then they'll get faster. Sometimes there's like fatigue and rest. And so you finish a season and then you start taking way more off days and just sprinting once or twice a week. And then you get faster during that time. It's another one would be like, you got an adolescent kid who's new to strength training. They start getting way stronger and they kind of get faster as that happens. And during that time, they don't have to sprint a lot. You'll get these windows and they're usually fairly short term. Sprinting once per week is all you need to do. And then maybe there's other windows where sprinting twice per week is enough, right? And we're talking 40 meters times 4 reps or something is like a workout. Like it doesn't take a whole lot. So we have these windows, right? But that's not the norm. Usually takes a lot more work to change your body for speed.
This is an uncomfortable reality that a lot of people in the performance world don't want to face. And that is that running your ass off for a period of time is actually a pretty critical element of speed development. People want the formula to be just doing a few short, fast sprints a couple times per week. And there certainly are contexts, like I was talking about, in which that is enough. However, if you keep doing that over time, I think you'll find that it's actually severely limited in its ability to keep making you faster over time. Instead, you got to think more like 4 to 5 days per week of sprinting or faster running. It doesn't have to be all out sprinting all the time, and getting way more volume. So some of those days you might be, running 1,000 meters or more total, right? And that the reason that works is because think of all that running as plyometric training, right? Every foot contact you're doing is a speed specific plyometric training stimulus. And that's why it works, because you're accumulating a whole bunch of that training. So we know for decades and decades that track athletes have developed max velocity in this way, right? By using periods of higher running volume. But this is also useful for athletes in other sports, because even if you just need to be fast over a short distance, you still need to develop a good level of max velocity. So let's say you're just trying to be fast in a 40, you're gonna have to sprint 10 meters per second. Right? You need that max velocity in order to be fast, even over 40. If you're gonna be fast just over 20, let's say 20 meters, you're gonna definitely have to sprint over 9 meters per second. And most athletes outside of track can't do that. There's a lot of people in that 8 to 8.5 range, and they never develop max velocity and they never get that fast, even in a short sprint, because they just don't do enough sprinting and running.
Other athletes also need more volume.
Yeah.
In a lot of cases to really change themselves. Now, it's tough because you got to have opportunity for that. You got to have capacity for that in their big picture. And so, no, I'm not like, oh yeah, basketball player in season, let's go do repeat twos.
Right. There's time and place.
Yeah.
As well.
And this is why I'm big on off seasons,
Yeah.
Especially, let's say, basketball player, football player, soccer player who's not a fast player and needs to get faster. Have an off season, train like a sprinter.
Yep.
And include some level of volume in that. And that will move your needle for speed and reactivity. And you'll see it show up in your single leg jumps.
Yep.
You'll see it show up in quickness. It'll change you athletically, but you have to have that season to do it. If you have practice 4 days per week with your AAU team and then you play 8 games and a tournament on the weekend, then it's just overkill.
Yeah.
If you try to train like a sprinter on top of that,
Yep.
You need the opportunity to do it. But I do think using that approach would be great for athletes in other sports. So having a season of doing it, that's the other thing. I'm not saying do it all year long.
Yes.
Have a season of getting the volume, and it's going to change your body and you're going to reap the rewards following that. Even when you're sprinting less, you're going to continue to reap the benefits of that sprinting more. And that also exists within track, where it's like, okay, run more for a while, then competitive season, dial it back, sprint fast, do your meets, and stay fresh. So I'm not just saying like always run a lot all year long. It's use it as a tool for a while to change your body and then back down from it.